In every age of human history, there have been spiritual figures whose lives were not recorded in books, whose names were not carved into stone, and whose stories were not preserved by powerful institutions. Yet their influence lived on, quietly, deeply, and eternally through the hearts of the people they touched. Joharan Mamdai belongs to this sacred category of spiritual personalities. Joharan Mamdai is remembered not as a king, scholar, or conqueror, but as a humble spiritual guide, a seeker of divine truth, and a symbol of inner awakening. His name may not appear in famous scriptures or global histories, but in certain regions and devotional circles, he is remembered as a man who lived close to God and closer to humanity. This article explores the spiritual life, teachings, philosophy, and lasting influence of Joharan Mamdai based on oral traditions, devotional interpretations, and symbolic spiritual understanding. The meaning of a spiritual life. To understand Joharan Mamdai, one must first understand what it means to be a spiritual figure. A spiritual person is not defined by miracles or popularity, but by inner purity, deep compassion, detachment from ego, devotion to truth, and service to others. Joharan Mamdai is remembered as someone who lived these values fully. His life reflected simplicity, discipline, and surrender to the divine. He did not seek followers, yet people were drawn to him. He did not claim authority, yet his words carried weight. Early life, a seeker from the beginning. According to oral accounts, Joharan Mamdai was born into an ordinary family. There was nothing extraordinary about his social status, wealth, or education. However, from a young age, he showed signs of deep contemplation and spiritual sensitivity. While others were busy with daily ambitions, he often spent time in silence, prayer, nature, self-reflection. He questioned life's deeper meanings. Why are humans born? What is the purpose of suffering? What is the nature of God? How can the soul find peace? These questions slowly shaped his spiritual path. Turning away from material life. As he grew older, Joharan Mamdai realized that material success could not satisfy spiritual hunger. Wealth, recognition, and social status appeared temporary and hollow to him. Rather than rejecting the world harshly, he gently detached himself from excessive desires. He lived simply, owned very little, and focused on inner growth. His philosophy was clear. Possession binds the body, but desire binds the soul. This belief guided his life choices and teachings. The path of devotion. Joharan Mamdai's spirituality was deeply rooted in devotion. He believed that God was not distant or unreachable, but present everywhere, in people, nature, suffering, and silence. His devotion was not limited to rituals. Instead, it was expressed through kindness, honesty, patience, forgiveness, and service. He taught that true prayer is not spoken with the lips, but lived through actions. Teachings of Joharan Mamdai. Although he did not write scriptures, his teachings were preserved through spoken words and lived examples. Some of his core teachings include 1. God lives within. Joharan Mamdai emphasized that God is not confined to temples, mosques, or churches. According to him, if you search for God outside, you may wander forever. If you search within, you will find him waiting. He encouraged self-awareness and inner silence as paths to divine realization. 2. Ego is the greatest barrier. One of his strongest teachings was the danger of ego. He believed ego separates humans from truth. He often said, "The moment you say, 'I know,' wisdom leaves. The moment you say, 'I don't know,' truth enters." Humility, according to Joharan Mamdai, was the gateway to enlightenment. 3. Serve without expectation. Service was central to his spiritual vision. He taught that helping others without seeking reward purifies the soul. To him, feeding the hungry was worship, comforting the sad was prayer, forgiving enemies was spiritual victory. 4. Silence is sacred. Joharan Mamdai valued silence deeply. He believed silence was not emptiness, but divine presence. He often spent long hours in meditation and encouraged others to sit quietly, observing their thoughts without attachment. His way of teaching. Joharan Mamdai did not preach loudly or argue about beliefs. His teaching style was gentle and subtle. He taught through short conversations, simple examples, personal conduct, and quiet observation. People learned by watching how he lived, not by listening to long sermons. Relationship with followers. Interestingly, Joharan Mamdai never claimed discipleship. He never asked anyone to follow him. Yet people naturally gathered around him because he listened without judgment. He spoke with clarity. He lived what he taught. He treated everyone equally, rich or poor, learned or uneducated. Views on religion. Joharan Mamdai respected all religions but rejected religious arrogance. He believed that truth cannot be owned by one path. He said, "Many rivers flow, but the ocean is one." For him, love, compassion, and sincerity were more important than labels. Trials and misunderstanding. Like many spiritual figures, Joharan Mamdai faced misunderstanding. Some people mocked his simplicity, others doubted his silence. But he remained calm and unshaken. He believed, "The tree that bears fruit will be hit by stones." His patience became one of his strongest teachings. Final years. In his later years, Joharan Mamdai lived even more quietly. He spent much time in meditation and reflection. There are no grand stories of miracles associated with his death. He passed away peacefully as he lived, without noise, without fear. Those close to him said his final message was simple: remain kind, remain aware. Spiritual legacy. Though Joharan Mamdai left no written legacy, his influence continues through stories shared by devotees, values practiced by followers, quiet inspiration passed across generations. His life reminds us that true spirituality does not seek attention, it transforms silently. Why Joharan Mamdai still matters today. In a modern world filled with noise, competition, and anxiety, Joharan Mamdai's life offers powerful lessons. Slow down, look inward, live simply, serve selflessly, let go of ego. His teachings are timeless because human struggles remain the same. Conclusion. Joharan Mamdai was not a figure of fame, but a figure of depth. Not a voice of authority, but a presence of peace. His life teaches us that spiritual greatness does not require recognition. He stands as a reminder that the quiet soul can change lives. Truth does not need advertisement. God is found in humility. In remembering Joharan Mamdai, we remember the eternal possibility of inner awakening that exists within us all.